Welcome back, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and numismatic enthusiasts. Today, we're stepping into a fascinating chapter of modern American coinage as we explore the most valuable top 4 United States Lincoln Memorial pennies known for their rarity, unique mint errors, standout mint marks, and astonishing auction results. While most Lincoln Memorial cents are common pocket change, a select few have risen far above ordinary value, becoming high-end collectibles worth hundreds, thousands, and even millions of dollars in today's auction market. So sit back, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you look at this iconic 1-cent piece. So let's get started. First up, we explore the United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny from 1959 without a mint mark, a coin found in circulation for decades but now gaining tremendous attention in today's auction market, especially when preserved in very fine condition or higher. This coin marks a major shift in American numismatic history, and its background and features make it a fascinating piece for collectors around the world. The significance of the 1959 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. We must first look at its history, and the moment that changed the face of the 1-cent coin. The year 1959 was the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and to commemorate this milestone, the United States Mint replaced the long-running wheat ear reverse design with something brand new. After 50 years of the wheat design, the Mint introduced the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, a dramatic change that symbolized modernization and a new era in U.S. coinage. Designed by Frank Gasparo, this updated reverse showcased the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and for the first time ever on a circulating U.S. coin, a tiny representation of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial could be seen with magnification. The obverse still carried Victor D. Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, making 1959 the beginning of the Memorial Penny series that would continue all the way until 2008. The Philadelphia Mint produced the version without a mint mark, and millions entered circulation, but only a small percentage survive today in very fine or higher condition. When examining the unique features of the 1959 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark, several details stand out. On the obverse, the bold and distinguished portrait of President Lincoln faces right, surrounded by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Above, Liberty, to the left, and the year 1959 to the right without any mint mark underneath, confirming its origin from the Philadelphia Mint. The smooth fields, clean rims, and crisp details around Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat define how collectors grade examples in higher conditions. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial design is sharply centered, with every pillar, step, and architectural detail adding character to the coin. Above the memorial is the familiar United States of America arc with E pluribus unum beneath it. The denomination, 1 cent, is boldly displayed at the bottom. The clarity of the steps, the strength of the lines on the building, and the absence of scratches or discoloration strongly influence the coin's value today. In very fine condition, these features remain clearly visible but lightly worn, making such examples increasingly desirable. Rarity plays a major role in the collector demand for the 1959 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. While the original mintage was high, most of these pennies circulated heavily for many decades, resulting in wear, damage, discoloration, and loss of detail. Finding them in very fine condition or above is becoming more difficult each year as collectors remove quality examples from circulation. Furthermore, transitional errors, early die strikes, and high-grade survivors boost demand because they represent the first year of the new memorial design. Many collectors want a complete first-year issue for their sets, and this pushes value upward. The combination of historical significance, condition scarcity, and the transition from wheat to memorial design gives this 1959 penny special importance in the numismatic community. In today's market, the value of a 1959 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny depends heavily on condition and any unusual variations. In very fine circulated condition, a normal example may have a modest market value, but in today's online auctions, certain pieces, especially those with sharp details, strong luster, or early die characteristics, have sold for $250,000, much higher amounts than expected. Well-preserved examples can bring $265,000, while extremely sharp mint-state examples have reached into the hundreds. Rare instances of exceptional strikes, doubling varieties, or high-grade submissions graded by NGC or PCGS have achieved significant prices, sometimes even crossing the $375,000 mark for truly top-tier specimens. The auction market continues to show surprising strength for first-year memorial pennies, particularly when collectors compete for the finest ones available. collectors looking to invest in or hunt for the 1959 numismatist penny should always focus on condition first. Examining the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, beard, lettering, and the details of the Lincoln Memorial is essential. Choosing coins with minimal scratches, no major discoloration, and strong original detail gives the best chance for higher value. It is also recommended to check for doubling on the date, lettering, or the memorial's pillars, as rare varieties can dramatically increase desirability. Storing the coin in protective holders, avoiding touching the surfaces, and keeping it away from moisture or harsh cleaning materials will help preserve its long-term value. Submitting high-quality coins to professional grading services is also a strategy that often increases both credibility and market sale price. The 1959 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark is much more than an everyday copper coin. It represents a turning point in U.S. coin design, carries deep historical meaning, and continues to attract collector interest worldwide. Even though millions were minted, finding well-preserved examples is becoming increasingly rare, and the auction market rewards those who discover high-grade survivors. Whether you're a long-time collector or just beginning your numismatic journey, the 1959 penny is a perfect reminder that treasures still exist in pocket change. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, you might hold a valuable piece of American history in the palm of your hand. Next up, the United States Lincoln Memorial penny, minted in 1959 with the D mint mark. Although millions were struck, the 1959 D penny in extra fine condition carries a unique place in the collector world, especially when it comes to historical value, design evolution, rarity at higher grades, and its surprising demand in today's auction market. This episode will break down every aspect of this iconic coin, from its origin and production story to its unique design features, collector appeal, and its real value in dollars right now. The story of the 1959 D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin begins with one of the most important transitions in U.S. coinage history. For 50 years, from 1909 through 1958, the United States Mint produced the beloved Lincoln wheat cent, featuring the iconic wheat ears on the reverse. But in 1959, America celebrated the 150th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. To honor this milestone, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new reverse design, the Lincoln Memorial. This major change marked the birth of the Memorial Reverse Series, which continued for 5 decades until the redesigned Union Shield cent arrived in 2010. The Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark, became one of the primary production centers, striking more than 1 billion 1959 D pennies. Despite the huge mintage, the first year of a major design change always carries special significance. Collectors often seek early examples because they represent the starting point of a new era in U.S. numismatic history. As a result, the 1959 D penny has solid historical value, not only as a circulating coin, but as a symbolic piece of America's cultural and artistic evolution. When examining the unique features of the 1959 D Lincoln Memorial penny, several details stand out. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, originally introduced in 1909. Brenner's design remained unchanged for decades because of its legendary artistic quality, capturing Lincoln's strength, calmness, and character. On the 1959 D, this portrait is typically sharp in higher grades, and extra fine examples will show light where only on high points such as Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat details. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." At the top, Liberty on the left, and the date, 1959, with the bold D mint mark positioned just beneath it. The reverse marks the beginning of a new chapter with the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. This is a highly detailed and symbolic image, showing the complete Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., with its columns, steps, and central entrance carefully engraved. Extra fine condition coins still display strong architectural details, including distinct column separation and clear steps. One of the most remarkable features, though rarely noticed by casual observers, is that a tiny representation of the seated Lincoln statue appears within the memorial, making this the only U.S. circulating coin with the same person appearing on both sides. This miniature engraving fascinated collectors from the moment the coin was released. The reverse inscriptions include United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum just above the memorial, and the denomination, 1 cent, across the bottom. The copper composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc was the same formula used for Lincoln cents since World War II, giving the coin a warm reddish-brown or brown tone depending on how it aged. In extra fine condition, many coins still retain a subtle original mint luster around the fields and lettering. Although over 1 billion pieces were minted, rarity becomes a serious factor once collectors focus on grade and overall eye appeal. In general circulation, the 1959 D penny is extremely common, but the number of high-quality survivors becomes much smaller. Coins circulated heavily during the late 1950s and throughout the 1960s, meaning most examples show heavy wear, scratches, or environmental damage. Extra fine condition coins, however, reflect minimal wear and strong detail, making them far more attractive to collectors. The difference in collector demand becomes even more dramatic at the highest certified grades MS66, MS67, and above, where extremely few coins survive without marks or discoloration. Early memorial cents were not saved in large quantities because most people didn't consider them special at the time. The focus was still on wee pennies, leaving many first-year memorial cents to circulate for decades before collectors realized their value. This slow recognition has made well-preserved examples surprisingly scarce today. When discussing current market value in dollars, the 1959 D penny shows a wide value range depending on condition, luster, strike, and overall eye appeal. In extra fine condition, the coin generally holds modest but consistent collector value, often selling for a small premium over face value. Higher grades, however, tell a very different story. Coins with brilliant red surfaces, sharp details, and minimal marks can bring dramatic prices in auctions. Certified red examples graded MS66 or MS67 have sold for impressive amounts, sometimes reaching into the $346,000s of dollars depending on rarity and demand at the time of sale. Errors also play a role in boosting value. Certain rare varieties and minting mistakes from the year 1959, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, can command much higher prices. The famous yet controversial 1959 D mule cent with a wheat reverse, although extremely disputed, became one of the most talked about numismatic topics of its era. Overall, the 1959 D penny continues to maintain strong collector interest, which helps keep its auction value stable and sometimes surprisingly high when exceptional examples appear on the market. Collectors seeking this coin should focus on several important tips. The first rule is to look for strong detail and clean surfaces. Extra fine coins should have visible high point definition, a smooth copper surface, and no major dents or scratches. Check both sides for even color and natural toning, which greatly enhances eye appeal. Avoid coins with corrosion or discoloration, as copper is highly reactive to moisture and contaminants. If you plan to invest, consider certified examples from reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC. These guarantee authenticity, grade accuracy, and long-term preservation. For those collecting raw coins, store your pennies in archival safe holders to prevent further oxidation. Always examine the reverse carefully, ensuring that the steps, columns, and inscriptions remain clear. With early memorial cents, even slight wear can remove important details. Another valuable strategy is studying auction history. This allows you to track price trends, understand what collectors are willing to pay, and spot opportunities to buy or sell at the right time. The 1959 D Lincoln Memorial Penny in extra fine condition stands as an essential piece of American numismatic history. It represents the beginning of a major design shift, the continuation of a beloved portrait, and the start of a 50-year era in the world of U.S. coinage. Its attractive design, historical significance, and scarcity in higher grades all contribute to its lasting popularity among collectors. Whether you're building a full Lincoln cent collection or simply looking for a coin that combines beauty, history, and genuine market demand, the 1959 D penny is an excellent piece to study and appreciate. As the years pass, early memorial cents continue to gain recognition, and their value slowly strengthens in the auction market. This makes the 1959 D not only a fascinating collectible, but also a coin with solid long-term potential. Next up, the United States Lincoln Memorial Penny, 1 cent from the year 1993 with the Denver Mint mark. At first glance, the 1993 D penny looks like an ordinary copper-plated zinc coin that millions of Americans have spent, saved, and forgotten about. But in today's active coin market, especially with collectors searching for high-quality examples, rare errors, and strong strike coins, even a seemingly common penny can surprise you with its hidden value. So stay with me as we explore the complete story, from its history and features to its rarity, collector appeal, and today's dollar value. The 1993 D Lincoln Memorial Penny. We need to go back in history. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, becoming the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person. Over the decades, the design evolved, and in 1959, the reverse transitioned from the original wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. This design remained in use for 50 years and includes a tiny but amazing element. If you look closely, you can see the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. The year 1993 was part of the modern copper-plated zinc era, which began in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to zinc cores with a thin copper coating due to rising metal costs. The Denver Mint, represented by the small D mint mark under the date, produced over 6.4 billion pennies in 1993, making the coin seem common, but quality issues, strike weaknesses, and error varieties contribute to its modern collectible interest. When we talk about the unique features of the 1993 D penny, the first thing to note is its composition. 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper plating. This means the coin is lightweight and prone to corrosion or bubbling if not stored properly. On the obverse, you see Victor D. Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1993 with the D mint mark right below it. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. The tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial is one of the most iconic details found on any U.S. coin. Some 1993 D pennies also show interesting varieties like die cracks, plating bubbles, broad strikes, and double die features, which can drastically boost value depending on severity and condition. Now let's talk about rarity and collector demand. Even though the mintage numbers were high, finding a 1993 D penny in fine condition that has avoided heavy wear, damage, corrosion, or plating issues can be surprisingly difficult. Many pennies from the 1990s suffered from environmental damage because the zinc core reacts quickly when exposed to moisture. Uncirculated examples with strong luster are less common than people think. In fine condition, the coin still shows clear details with moderate wear, making it desirable for set builders who want a complete year and mint mark collection. What drives the most interest, however, are era coins from 1993 D. Collectors love varieties, and any Lincoln cent with visible doubling, off-center striking, major die cracks, or minting anomalies can attract strong bids in auctions. Now let's break down today's market value for the 1993 D penny in fine condition. A normal circulated 1993 D penny with no errors is generally worth around face value, but a well-preserved fine condition example can bring anywhere from $325,000 depending on collector demand and eye appeal. Where things get truly exciting is with error versions of the 1993 D penny. Double die examples, off-center strikes, and major die breaks can range from $345,000 depending on rarity and how dramatic the error looks. High-grade coins certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC can reach even higher values, sometimes selling for over $1 million if the coin grades MS67 or better. The active auction market today has shown strong interest in modern cents, especially because collectors realize that high-grade or error examples from the 1990s are becoming harder to find each year. For collectors who want to search for valuable 1993 D pennies, a few tips can make a big difference. Always examine the coin under good lighting and, if possible, use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, die cracks, plating issues, or off-center strikes. Store zinc pennies in dry, airtight containers to protect them from corrosion. When you believe you have a high-grade or rare variety, consider sending it to a professional grading service to authenticate and preserve the coin. Keep in mind that modern coins can still hold big surprises, so never ignore a penny just because it looks common. The 1993 D Lincoln Memorial penny may seem like a simple everyday coin, but it actually carries a fascinating story, strong collector interest, and impressive value potential in today's market. Whether you are searching through pocket change, coin rolls, or inherited collections, this coin is one to watch. With its rich history, detailed design, modern rarity issues, and the possibility of high-value errors, the 1993 D penny proves once again that treasure can be found in the smallest places. Next up, we're talking about the United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin from 1997 with the Denver Mint mark. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary modern penny, but when it comes to rare varieties, unique errors, condition levels, and collector demand, this coin can sometimes command big money when the right features come together. So sit back as we explore the full history, design details, rarity factors, and the real market value of the 1997 D penny in circulated condition. To understand the importance of the 1997 D Lincoln Memorial Cent, we first need to take a quick look at its history and background. The Lincoln Penny series began in 1909, making it the longest-running design on any U.S. coin. The Memorial Reverse, which is the design used on the 1997 penny, was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This new design replaced the famous wheat ears and remained in use for an incredible 50 years, from 1959 to 2008. During this period, billions of pennies were struck every year at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. In 1997, the Denver Mint produced over 4 billion pennies, making the 1997 D extremely common in circulation. However, even with such high mintage numbers, certain coins stand out due to striking errors, die variations, and condition differences, and these are the pieces that collectors chase in today's fast-moving auction market. Now let's explore the unique features of the 1997 D penny. On the obverse side, you see the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1997, with the small D mint mark positioned just below the year to indicate that this coin was minted in Denver. The reverse of the coin features Frank Gasparo's iconic Lincoln Memorial design. When you look closely, you can even see the tiny silhouette of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, which many people don't notice. The reverse includes the inscriptions, "United States of America, et pluribus unum," and the denomination, 1 cent. The composition of this coin is primarily zinc with a thin copper plating, a change made in 1982 due to rising copper prices. The lightweight and bright reddish-brown color of uncirculated examples help distinguish them from older bronze cents. Although the design itself is not rare, what makes the 1997 D penny interesting to collectors are the potential errors and striking anomalies. Coins from this year have been found with off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, plating bubbles, and most notably, doubled dies. A strong doubled die on the date or lettering can increase the value dramatically. Some 1997 D pennies also display die deterioration doubling, which is common but not valuable. True doubling, however, is rare and can substantially raise collector interest. Next, let's look at the rarity and condition factors that influence the demand for a 1997 D penny. Because so many of these coins were produced, normal circulated examples are extremely common and usually hold only face value. But circulated condition doesn't automatically mean worthless. If a circulated coin shows a major mint error or an unusual die variety, collectors will compete to own it, even if it has wear. The more dramatic the error, the higher the demand. For example, a 1997 D penny struck off-center by more than 50%, even in circulated condition, can bring a premium. Similarly, a strong doubled die, even with scratches or discoloration, can still sell for impressive dollar amounts. Condition also plays a major role in value. Most circulated pennies from 1997 show scratches, dull surfaces, worn details near Lincoln's hair and beard, and signs of environmental damage. Coins with cleaner surfaces, fewer marks, and sharper details are naturally more desirable. Now let's dive into the current market value in dollars for the 1997 D penny in circulated condition. A regular, non-error circulated 1997 D penny typically remains at face value, usually between 1 to 3 cents to collectors who want placeholders. But when a rare error or variety is involved, the price changes dramatically. Off-center strikes in circulated condition can sell anywhere from $240,000 depending on the severity. Broad strikes and strong die cracks may fall in the range of $320,000. More significant errors like double strikes or major misalignments can reach $365,000 or more. The biggest value comes from true doubled dies. Certain verified double die adverse or reverse examples from the 1990s have sold for several $1 million, even with circulation wear. Exceptional high-grade error pieces and coins certified by major grading companies can go even higher at auction, especially when collectors compete for scarce varieties. For collectors hoping to identify valuable 1997 D pennies, here are some practical tips. Always examine the date, mint mark, and lettering closely under good lighting or magnification to check for doubling or unusual shapes. Look for off-center strikes by analyzing the rim and design alignment. Keep an eye out for bubbles in the copper plating, which can sometimes indicate underlying metal issues, although most are common and not valuable. It's helpful to check both sides of the coin for cracks, raised lines, or unusual impressions, as these may signal a mint error. If you believe you've found an unusual example, consider comparing it to verified listings on trusted numismatic sites or having it evaluated by a professional grading service, especially if the error appears dramatic. The 1997 D. Lincoln Memorial penny might not seem rare at first glance, but this common 1-cent coin still offers incredible treasure hunting potential. While ordinary circulated examples remain worth only their face value, certain coins with the right errors, dramatic varieties, or higher than average condition can command surprising prices in today's collector and auction markets. Always remember that modern coins can hold unexpected value, and every everyday penny has the chance to become a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. If you enjoy learning about the rarest modern pennies and coins worth big money, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting numismatic stories and updates. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!